tariff as low as 5 buttons per megabyte.
And all bundles are valid for 30 days.
AfriCell Extreme 3G service for as low as $15.
To subscribe, please dial 120 and choose from the available 3G bundles.
For more info, call 113.
AfriCell Extreme 3G service.
For as low as 5 buttons per megabyte, stay connected to AfriCell's 3G network.
AfriCell.
When we say Extreme 3G,
it is truly extreme.
Welcome back. Delegates of South Africa's ruling party are meeting to elect a new leader. President Jacob Zuma is being challenged by African National Congress colleague Pamela Motlanti. The 5,000 delegates head into Congress against the backdrop of increased unrest in South Africa's lucrative mines. We have details of that story in this report.
Despite a series of scandals and a growing impopularity, South African President Jacob Zuma looks set to be re-elected as head of the African National Congress. Zuma should easily defeat his challenger, Deputy President Kgalema Motlanthe. After a long silence, Motlanthe finally decided to oppose Zuma with very little chance of winning. Fighting between party members has outshined most debate in the race. For many local residents, the ANC has become synonymous with getting rich, and the party's image has been seriously tarnished.
Within the ANC today, you get more people that are greedy. They are not working for the people in general. But some of them are only there for their narrow, personal interest.
I think they should change the current president to a new president. I don't know which one is good in terms of leading the country, but I'd prefer a change.
The ANC leadership is perceived by many as corrupt. While recent violence at mines in South Africa left at least 50 people dead, all of this has weakened the party and the economic future of the country.
The fact that our mining industry is mired in this continuing labor unrest also makes it difficult to incentivize international investment into the South African economy. So I think Mangong happens, it's a bit of a speed bump, and then the markets are going to start looking towards the new elected leadership to make the difficult and hard decisions that need to be made in order to drive South Africa to a more competitive position over the next 5 to 7 years.
Although Jacob Zuma looks set to remain the ANC party leader, the race is not over yet. The biggest risk for the ANC is that many people who feel forgotten by the party could simply abstain from voting in the future.
A lone gunman Friday went on a shooting spree in a school in Newton, Connecticut, killing 26 people, including 20 school children. U.S. President Barack Obama has expressed his sadness at the latest shooting incident. We have details of that story in this report.
An elementary school in Newtown, Connecticut was the scene of a horrific attack on Friday morning. Adam Lanza, the 20-year-old son of one of the teachers, entered Sandy Hook Elementary at about 9:30, armed with 2 pistols. He opened fire, concentrating his attack on 2 classrooms. Hearing the shots, teachers elsewhere in the school locked classroom doors and told pupils to hide in the closets. 20 children and 8 adults, including Lanza's own mother, were killed. He then turned the gun on himself. Sandy Hook Elementary is located in a sedate, forested neighborhood of Newtown where security had never been a problem.
A friend of mine said that there was a masked man came in and just started shooting. So I don't know how he came in, because every time you go in you have to ring a bell and they can see you from the office and they know who you are and they let you in. So I don't know if it's somebody they knew.
Flags were flown at half-mast across the country. On Friday afternoon, President Obama gave a televised address to the nation.
The majority of those who died today were children. Beautiful little kids between the ages of 5 and 10 years old. Among the fallen were also teachers, men and women who devoted their lives to helping our children fulfill their dreams. So our hearts are broken today.
On Friday evening, residents in Newtown held a candlelight vigil for the victims. The massacre, one of the deadliest in U.S. history, has again raised calls for tougher gun control laws.
Egyptians are going to the polls to vote in a referendum on a draft constitution that has had opposition protesters up in arms and in the streets for weeks. And Israel's divisive and hugely controversial Foreign Minister Avigdor Lieberman has agreed to step down after coming under intense criticism over alleged corruption charges. We have more on those stories and others in this CFI roundup.
A day of voting in Egypt. Voters are asked to say yes or no to the new constitution, which is creating deep divisions among Egyptians. Half the country was voting today, including in Cairo and Alexandria. Islamist President Mohamed Morsi was among the first to cast his ballot. The other half of the voters will do so next Saturday. Egypt's secular opposition has strongly protested against the proposed constitution, seen as a possible wedge to introduce Sharia-style law. Demonstrations in Bahrain. Thousands of supporters of Bahrain's largely Shiite Muslim opposition demonstrated peacefully on Friday near Manama, calling for democratic reform in the turbulent Sunni-ruled Gulf country. Bahrain was shaken by a protest movement in February 2011, led by the Shiite majority, demanding a constitutional monarchy in the kingdom. In Israel, Foreign Minister Avigdor Lieberman announced his resignation only several weeks ahead of legislative elections. The leader of the ultra-nationalist party and key ally of the Prime Minister was officially charged with fraud and breach of trust. The controversial minister's party is a member of the ruling coalition. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will assume Lieberman's functions until a new cabinet is formed. In Morocco, tens of thousands of people attended the funeral of Sheikh Yassin in Rabat. The founder and spiritual leader of the Islamist movement, Justice and Charity, died at the age of 84 without naming a successor. His movement, which actively participated in Arab Spring protests, opposes the monarchy in Morocco and wants to establish an Islamic state while rejecting violence to achieve it.
Go for another break. We'll be back momentarily.
Universal property companies out there, so making a choice can sometimes be difficult. This is why you should rely on a professional and experienced player in the market. Let me introduce you to Universal Properties. Universal Properties are one of the oldest and the most reliable property company in the Gambia. We have 3 great locations to offer: Lamen, Brufut, and also on the Sukuta Airport Highway. In Lamen, we have 25 by 20 with inner roads, electricity, water, and some residents are already in place. We are greatly located in Brufut and very well accessible. The place you would want to build your dream home. And in Sukuta Airport Highway, you can have easy access to the airport, roads, and all amenities. We are located on number 2 Karaba Avenue FIB House on the 2nd floor. Call us today on 618-8888, 618-8880, or 439-9173. Universal Properties, Gambia's most experienced real estate.
And before we end this edition of the news, a quick look at our top stories. The Rotary Club of Fajara has presented high-tech medical items worth over $30,000 to the Royal Victoria Teaching Hospital and the Bansang Hospital. Officials of the Gambia Bureau of Statistics and partners have gathered to validate the 2009 Migration and Immigration Survey report. ANC delegates are meeting to choose a new leader, with Jacob Zuma facing stiff competition from his deputy, Galema Motlanthe. And a lone gunman has gone on a shooting spree in a school in Newtown, Connecticut, killing 26 people, including 20 school children. That's all in this edition of the news. Thanks for the values of the content, and do join us at 2200 for another bulletin. Bye for now.